Few places are as unforgiving as the North Atlantic. Well, why would one woman in one of the smallest certified planes do it not only once but twice? Let's find out one-on-one. Hello and welcome to One-on-One. I'm Dan Millican. We're shooting this at Airventure. We're at the Flying Eyes booth. If you go to flyingeyesoptics.com, use our discount code, you can get 10% off using taking off, all caps, one word. Also, Clemens Insurance, if you need insurance, Jerry will really help you. ClemensInsurance.net. Let's get to it. Catherine Kaiser, thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Okay, and also we have Martin Polly here. So Martin is a friend of mine. Martin is from Germany. He may know a lick or two of German. Catherine, you're relatively new to English in the last 4 years. So Martin's here to give us some support language-wise if we need it.
I'll help if needed.
But it seems the show could be also in German. Guten Tag, Dan.
Ja, wir sind hier im Hangar und machen die Show heute mal auf Deutsch.
Willkommen.
What would I say in recent? Well, how could I say you're welcome or what?
Well, we just announced this episode is in German today.
All right. You know what? On that, I was talking to Hoover, Pilot Debrief. He's got a German channel, and he's like pays for each episode for an AI to do his voice in German. So you need to check out his channel in Germany to see if it's. He's worried about the translation. He doesn't know if it's any
We'll
good.
check it out.
Yeah. So, by the way, you've got a book out on your journeys, and I've been thumbing through it. I just got it, so I haven't been able to finish it yet. And I do have to ask, on that, I've got the English version. How did you do the translation from German to English for that book?
With a lot of help. To save money, of course, I do as much as I can by my own because it's my soul in this book. But of course, I have a friend in Texas. He moved 30 years ago from Germany to Texas, so he can very well speak in both languages. He helped, and even after that, I need a lecturer. So yes, but in my book is no single word artificial intelligence.
Okay. No AI created that. Okay, awesome. All right, so Catherine, what we're talking about here is that you've got a Grumman Traveler. And our friend Brian Turner from Just Plain Silly used to have a Traveler. I've flown in the Traveler. I know how small that plane is. And I mean, I can drive faster than that Traveler can fly. So it is, it's a very, very small plane. But before we get to that and before we get to the trip, tell me about your as a pilot, what your certifications are and where you are as a, in the process.
How I prepared for this trip, or what?
No, certifications.
Fluglizenzen und Berechtigungen und so weiter.
Yeah, it's simple. The PPL. I'm only a VFR pilot.
Okay.
It makes no sense to make the IFR because my plane hasn't instruments. I don't have autopilot. I don't have VOR or instruments. I only have the compass, radio transponder, and the six-pack. That's all. Back to basics.
No
flying.
GPS?
Yeah, I use for flight, of course, but we in Europe we have a lot of GPS jamming and spoofy, so you have to trust at the end on your paper map.
Which we had a great episode at Sun and Fun, you and I, about GPS spoofing, which isn't a big thing here, but apparently I guess from the rest of the world it is.
Across the world it is, especially in Eastern Europe, and it's becoming more widespread, sadly, everywhere in the world.
Okay, how many hours of flying do you have now?
Now I have 1,200 hours.
How many hours of flying did you have when you attempted that first trip?
I think 500.
500, okay. So in a very small certified plane that was not IFR certified, and you're not IFR rated, did you have any concerns?
Hast du dir Sorgen gemacht?
I'm a single mom of 2 boys, so I'm very well mentally prepared. So, of course, but 150% preparation is 95% success, and the rest, it doesn't matter. You fly over the mountains in the night, over water. The plane doesn't know it, and it could happen everywhere. But when your dream don't fear you, then the dream is not big enough. So for me, freedom is more important than safety. And I have to say, to fly in America, it's so easy peasy, and I love to fly. I'm always longing to go to America for flying. I love it, your country.
Well, I know Martin's talked about too. The freedom that we have here is amazing.
I can definitely relate. This is not just a cost thing. It is more affordable here, but the access to airspace here, the access to airports around the clock and not just during opening hours, there's no comparison in terms of access, utility, and cost of GA. We live in paradise for pilots here in the US.
In Germany, we have 400 airfields, and even the littlest one with 900 feet runway, 300 meter, has a control tower with landing fees, operation times. So you can't, outside America, it's very overregulated.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so we've talked about you and your credentials, talked a little bit about the Grumman, but tell me more about the Grumman, its performance specs, its speed, all that kind of stuff.
So first, the Grumman, the same size, for example, the Cessna 172 is 44,000 in the world, but the Grumman AA5 is only 3,000, so it's a very little community, and I think at the moment it's only 1,200 flyable, so it's like a family, and when there is a problem, the family wants that all the Grummans still are flyable, so that is the great thing on a Grumman. A Grumman is not with, nicht mit Nieten, sondern geklebt.
It's used more glue than rivets.
Okay.
So it gives you 90 kilogram, it's 40 pounds,
About 200 pounds.
but 200 pounds more payload. That is the good thing, and it looks very cool. We slide the canopy,
Yes.
and like a trainer, and it's the best plane for ditching in the water, because in a Piper or Mooney, maybe you have a passenger, it's collapsed, you can't go out, or in a Cessna underwater. So of course I don't want to ditch in the water,
Right.
but I feel more comfortable in a Grumman, and
Because it's got a canopy that slides back.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. And we have a great guy with David Fletcher. You was there in Texas and visit him in his shop. He is my holy grail. Of course, I flew before Oshkosh. I flew there and learned a lot about maintenance on a Grumman, because the European mechanic are not so used to this plane. My Grumman Traveler has 150 horsepower. And I don't have the high compression engine with 160, and that's good for me because there are some spots in the earth there is no off-gas available, so I can use MOGAS, and I can fill canisters from the car fuel station in my plane, and sometimes, of course, in this kind of journeys, I need this.
Right. Tell me about that first trip. The first time you're coming, why did you decide to go from Germany to United States?
So after I did my license, the first trip went me to North Cape in northern point of Europe and come back. And when I come back from this journey, I heard from Oshkosh. Each pilot has to minimum once in the life to be in Oshkosh, and the best is to fly in by yourself. And so I decided, of course, I will do this, and I prepared 20 months for this trip. I need a much more license, for example, the night flight license. The radio license for IFR, it's difficult to the FAA rules, the EASA rules are other. We need a radio license because I come to points they are not used to VFR pilots that I understand what they want from me, maybe. So, and I did the dunking training for ditching in the water, but also other survival trainings, how you can make fire in the ice or fight a bear or... Not beer, bear. Sorry, I come from Germany. Beer.
We don't fight beer in Germany. We embrace it.
No, you embrace it.
Yeah, and also I have to save money each month, a little bit money for the visa, because the embassy want to see that for each day I plan to be in America, $266. So I save the money month per month, and the biggest issue was to find insurance for me, because yeah, it's a thing for the insurance. It's worldwide. I need it worldwide, and I was very fresh in aviation. They don't trust in me. I don't fly with a safety pilot. It's a very classic old single engine, and sometimes it was an issue because I'm a woman. I had the feeling so. Yeah, but 3 weeks before my journey, finally I got the insurance, and I was so happy to go. Yeah, and there was much more. in my preparation. You have to order some points by some airports the AFGAS. Sometimes it's not there when you come.
Right.
Right. It's a lot of preparation, and you can do, and you have to be as a pilot very flexible. But as I say, as best as I can, I prepared for this trip.
You mentioned struggles that might be because you're a woman. Culturally, how different is it in the United States compared to like Germany as far as being a woman pilot?
Oh, here it's total easy, and I feel so overwhelmed how all the people talk to me, also in Germany. But there are some countries in this world, for example, I flew in Africa to Egypt. You understand, they are not used to general aviation. They don't want general aviation. They don't want women. They want that you come with a white blouson with the 4 yellow stripes, and I come with my little dress and say, hello, here I am. They don't like it. So that is, in some parts, it's different.
Oh, that's interesting. You mentioned the saying, and I've got to chew on this one, that you said freedom is more important than safety. And I know that that's true in a lot of things. Some people might say you're really pushing the boundary with the risk factors and everything else. What would you say to those people that would, are you risking too much, I guess?
I don't think so. I really want to become a very old pilot.
Okay.
And I want that my kids grow up with a mom, of course, but I learn from the best, and I talk to pilots who did it in the past, and I learn all the time in each little flight, and then I expand my limit always a little bit. So one day I want to circle the Earth. Of course it's a risk, but it's also a risk to drive in Germany on the Autobahn. So,
True, man.
So, but you can be sure I prepare me very well. I calculate accurate my limits, and when it's not possible, of course I stay and take the train.
Okay.
I leave the plane, but I trust in me and in my plane, in my knowledge. I think the American people sometimes are very overprotected. It's a shame, because I think I want to show the pilots that you can so much more than only a $100 burger flying. You understand? You have planes you can fly with. Even when I can fly with a Traveler, this journey, what can you do with a Cirrus or a Tecnam or
Right.
so better performed planes?
Well, I've had a dream of flying flying Lola, my 210, over to. I would love to go to Scotland and the UK with it, but I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, even the $100 hamburger is not risk-free, right?
No.
For any kind of flying, the key is first acknowledging that there is a risk. If you don't do that, then,
Addressing those risks.
and then mitigating it as much
yeah.
as you can, and then finally accepting what is left, what you cannot mitigate, and that is never zero. It's certainly higher for.
And I
crossing
like
the
what you
Atlantic.
said, and it's no. Being able to say no is always the final thing. I mean, you got to have permission to say no. Like, I'm going to take the train. So
Yes.
I like that, and that's a good message. So when you're not traveling the world in a Grumman Traveler, what do you do back in Germany? What's your livelihood?
I work for the German government.
Oh, okay.
Fun fact, I work in the Ministry of Environment, so I'm the black sheep because I burn too much AFGAS. So, but yeah, sometimes I also fly from Bonn to Berlin for a business trip with my own plane. They doesn't like it, but
Oh, that's funny.
It
Okay.
is.
That is really funny. What's the future plans for you?
so I study a lot of videos from Martin, especially the MEP videos, and I did this year my multi-engine rating, and I use his videos in YouTube for also my training. I never know where goes my way. I will look and take what it will come. I wait that the political situation becomes better, that
Yeah.
I can fly to my Israeli friends again. I flew there. But even about this jamming and spoofing, I flew in the night that I can find the lights on the coastline. But The issue was I doesn't found the airport. That was crazy. So I told the tower, I can't find you, run out of fuel. She said, wait 5 minutes, there will soon a Cessna 172 start for night flight training. You can follow. That was
Oh,
great.
wow.
But, and also I need Russian to fly through Russian. I have the permit to fly in, but I can't do it now. The community would kill me when I do this. But I have to say the Russian pilots are great guys. They have cool planes and do very cool stuff. It's it's a shame. The political situation has to be become in a better way, and then I prepare me for this trip around the world. You have a minimum one to cross the equator, that it counts as an Earth rounder. That's my goal.
All right. And if people want to buy your book, where would they go?
Oh, that's the important point why I'm here. The book's name is Half Around the World in 40 Days. Today, on the last day, today
Well,
is Saturday.
we'll release this later, so.
Okay. So it's available
Online.
on my email address, 40days@gmx.de. And I have some books in America. So the shipping cost, it's much easier than you ordered it in Amazon.
Right.
Or if you want to have a signed book, then write it in this email. I sent it you from Germany when I hopefully safe back in Germany.
Okay, and I'll put the email. Say that email one more time. Make sure I.
Yeah, 40days@gmx.de.
GMA
GMX.
H
X-ray.
X.
O X GMX.de. Okay, great.
Yeah,
Catherine, so much for taking time to come
You're
talk
welcome.
with us.
It was a pleasure to see you and talk to you. And thank you
And
for...
thank you, Martin.
Thank you so much.
Anytime.
Okay, and thank you guys. Don't forget, do check out her book. I've started it. I just got it a couple days ago, and it's very, very mind-blowing. So it's very, check it out. Also check out our sponsors like Colton Mortgage, ColtonTakingOff.com, Z-Vision, XEVision.com, 67 Designs, 67D.com, and Marshall Protective Services, MPSProtects.com. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to Martin Polly, and I'll put a link to that as well. And we'll see you guys next time on One on One.